Hey, what's up, writers and readers? My name is Frankie Hope and welcome to my channel, Wake Up Frankie, or welcome back. And today I want to talk about the bullseye to creating a writing idea. It's really hard. You've got all these things going around you and suddenly you sit down, you really want to write and you can't think of a thing. Nothing. But I think that there is a science to it, and so I want to tell you about the bullseye. So, a bullseye, right? Starts small, gets bigger and bigger. So, at stage 1, you're in the center. Get a commonplace notebook. A commonplace notebook is just any sort of idea you find interesting about anything. Write it down. It could be a person that would be a great character because they have really interesting quirks or they look really interesting. Write it down. It could be a new place you've been to where you noticed something odd. Write it down. It could be a situation you were in that was scary. Write down what was scary about it and how it made you feel in that moment. Write it all down because you might use it eventually, you might not, but when I pay attention to these things that I find interesting and emotive, or that would make great symbolism or a great world, it really flows the creative juices and keeps them coming. I find more ideas and more ideas, and I think they've always been there, but if you write them down, you pay attention to them more. So, get a commonplace notebook. It could be a physical notebook, maybe you like writing physically a lot, or it could just be the notes on your phone, but have one place where you can write down all your ideas and revisit them later because you don't want to forget. If you ever get stuck, it's a great thing to go back to and say, hey, yeah, that would be a great character trait for a character. So, first things first, commonplace notebook, write it all down. Next, pick something out of your commonplace notebook that you find so interesting. Maybe it's a character. Maybe you know this grouchy old man whose husband just died and his kids are all adults and no one visits him, and he is just the most interesting person to you. So you start with one thing, that person, right? Well, make the bullseye bigger. What would be interesting? Maybe he hates animals, but his husband had this orange tabby cat that he loved, so he's keeping this cat because it's one thing that his husband was super close to, who of course he misses and adores now that they're gone, and he has to form a new relationship with this cat who he now oddly hates and loves at the same time, right? So you've got a situation. Okay, make the bullseye bigger. What world does this person live in? Is it modern times? Is there a time period in the world that you like? Do they live where you live? Do they live somewhere else? Is it a place that you've just created? What kind of environment and texture, all these things, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And maybe you don't want to start with a person. Maybe you found a really interesting place. Maybe you found an abandoned theme park. That's really interesting. It's a place that not a lot of people go. You're probably not even allowed to go there because it's probably locked off. So what kind of person would go inside there? The bullseye gets bigger. You create a character, why they would go in there, what's their motivation, why would they want to be in there? Find a goal for that character. Your bullseye gets bigger, and then find something to put in front of that character so they can't reach their goal, and another one and another one. Keep expanding. Find more characters that would be likely and unlikely relationships for this character in this theme park. And as you can see, you just keep expounding until the bullseye gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and pretty soon you have elevator pitches for a million different story ideas. Maybe you write them, maybe you don't. Maybe they turn into short stories that are you want to get published. Maybe they turn into short stories that are just to exercise your writing. Maybe you actually really like one and you want to turn it into a novel. That is great. It's perfect. The bullseye method works. So tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you have methods that work. The bullseye method is just a lot like practicing. Writing things down over and over again, forming habits to link up those creative juices to your everyday life and putting all those components together and expounding on them, pretty soon it'll just be a habit for you to see a symbol and be like, hey, I wonder what kind of person would associate themselves with that symbol, or I wonder what kind of situation you would find that person over there with that weird hat in. I wonder where they're going. It'll lead you to all these questions to help you fill out these characters and worlds and situations and aspirations and goals, and pretty soon you have a really good story idea. Practice the commonplace notebook and the bullseye theory. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you find this method helpful? Do you do something similar? Do you find it not helpful at all? Whatever helps you get those creative juices flowing, talk about it in the comments because I really want to hear what you guys think. As always, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.